said she might try to be online, but I don't know how. She says she has COVID. I don't know how bad she is. Obviously, if she's feeling terrible, I wouldn't want her to get on.
Well, we still got one more minute.
Okay. YouTube. I just got YouTube up and running.
Well, me, I can't ever seem to find the happy medium. If I sit back in my chair, I'm a little tiny guy at the bottom, and if I sit up, I'm like gigantic. Sub in for Jane.
Yeah.
You're welcome, and yeah, I'm correct.
Exciting.
Oh, she's on.
There?
She's on.
Can you hear us, Jane?
Jane? I guess we got to turn our mics on. That probably.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Jane, you gonna conduct or you want me to?
Sorry, hang on one second. I'm having trouble hearing you. Okay, go ahead again.
Just before we start, just checking to see, did you want to conduct or do you want me to?
No. Yeah, go ahead and conduct if you will, please. Thanks.
Okay. All right. You want to just let me know when you're up and running on YouTube and when we're officially starting up?
Yeah, we are good.
Okay, let's call to order the Alpine City Planning Commission meeting for January 4th, 2022. Welcome to all in the new year, and a quick roll call from the city. I think we have Austin Roy, Marla Fox, yes? And Jed also here with us?
I don't think Jed will be joining us, and Marla has COVID, so I don't know if she's going to be on or not tonight.
Okay, all right. And then from Planning Commission, we have present Troy Slade, Alan McDonald, Jeff Davis. And I think joining us via Zoom, we have Jane Greiner, John McKay, and Ethan Allen. So with that, let's move forward with a prayer to be offered by Jane Greiner. Jane, if you feel up to it. If not, we can sub in.
Sure, I'll go ahead. Our Father in heaven, we thank you that we could gather together for a planning commission meeting tonight for our Alpine City. We thank thee for this country that we live in and for the freedoms we enjoy. We pray that thy spirit will be with us to make good decisions tonight for the best interest of the people of Alpine City, and that we will have good judgment and consider all facts and information presented to us. We ask thee to please bless the people of this city, the people of the nation, and we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jane. And a pledge of allegiance by Mr. Davis. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, Jeff. Public comment is anybody in attendance, either here with us in person, or I suppose on YouTube, Austin, wish to make a public comment on any item that is not actually on the agenda, because we'll hold that. If anybody wishes to make a comment on anything other than the agenda item or items for the day. Austin, anything on YouTube coming up?
We actually disabled comments on YouTube, so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move forward then. The first action item is a review of the Planning Commission information binder. And ultimately, we will be moving to recommend either approval or not recommending approval of these Planning Commission documents in the information binder. So with that, Austin, perhaps you can introduce that to us?
Yes, yeah, thank you, Alan. So I put this together. I know this is something that the Planning Commission has been asking for us for quite some time. We've had some new members, most recently Jeff that joined us. And, it was like, hey, it would have been a good idea if we had a nice, orientation material and important documents. And so this is our attempt to kind of put something like that together. The draft that I sent you that's in the packet was a draft. I felt like I was missing something. Obviously, Alan kind of reminded us that he did prepare something, and this is something I would have included if I would have remembered to do so. So I printed off copies here for those that are here in person, and then Alan did email that out earlier today for those that are online. And so anyways, what we've put together really is, I'll just go to the table of contents. It'd probably be easier if I kind of show what is inside this packet here. So we have an introduction. That's something that was written by our previous city attorney. And it's a good little introduction, kind of explains your role on the Planning Commission. And I thought that was appropriate to have in there. It's something that we've traditionally given out to new Planning Commission members, and so I wanted to keep that moving forward. As far as introduction goes, the document that Alan sent out, I think would probably be a good idea to put that in maybe up in the front here, along with the other introduction piece. And then continuing on, what else we have in there is, so we've included the ordinance, the Planning Commission ordinance. That's what the official ordinance that outlines, the duties of the Planning Commission, how many members are on the Planning Commission, when they're appointed. All of those details are in that ordinance. So that's been included here. And then the Planning Commission over the years has adopted two different documents. So there's rules and procedures, and then there's rules of order. Both of these are kind of closely follow along with like Robert's rules of order. So if you're familiar with those, they follow closely to that, but it provides kind of a framework for how the meeting should run, how a motion should be made, and those types of things. And then continuing on here, other documents that I've included here in the packet. So a link to the development code. Our development code changes on a regular basis, so it's something that we're more often than not, we're actually making some kind of change or tweak or modification to the development code. For example, electronic signs, or I think that was probably our most recent change. But we always have changes happening, so I didn't feel like it was a good idea to print something off and have a hard copy of that, just because then as soon as you have it, it's already out of date. So that's why I put a link in there. And really, practically, I thought most of you would probably be using this information electronically anyways. And so all of these, if you see here in this table of contents, these are all hyperlinks, so you can click on it and it just takes you straight to whatever that document is. So, with the electronic method in mind. Continuing on, then we have a copy of their general plan. That's the new general plan that we just adopted towards the end of last year. And so it has all the most recent sections there. In fact, and so I broke it down. Some of these things are actually in the general plan, but I thought it'd be useful to have a direct link to them. So like the land use map, that's in the general plan. The transportation master plan, and then the Moyle Park, the corridor trail master plan, and Lambert Park master plan. All of those are inside the general plan, but those are just direct links to each one of those, so that you have easier access to that. And then continuing on, we have additional trail maps. These are trail signs or kiosks that we've been working on in the past year, and we've actually installed some. And so these are gonna be, when you go to the park, you'll see a kiosk that has a trail map. So like if you're in Lambert Park, it'll show all the trails in Lambert Park. And then we have an overall trail map of the whole city. And so I thought it'd be useful to have those for planning commission members to refer to, as, you know, those are the maps that people will be seeing physically when they're out riding trails. And then continuing on here, we have the Gateway Historic Ordinance. This outlines our business commercial area and the requirements for the buildings that are there. So the idea is, you know, we want to have a consistency in our business commercial zone. And that's, you know, from things like street lighting to garbage, having dumpsters and that type of thing, having screening, so fencing in between them, and then trying to have a consistent architectural feel in that area. And so that really goes hand in hand with the next document, which is the Gateway Historic District Design Guidelines. And so that's a separate document. It's not ordinance, but it's a very useful guide that really has pictures and things that really kind of make it easier to envision what the aesthetic of Main Street is supposed to look like. And then finally, the last two things we have here is a tree guide, which is a document that we use if someone wants to plant something in the park strips, which would be that grass space in between the curb and the sidewalk. They have to follow that tree guide. So I thought that would be useful to have here, as there are many situations where, you know, the planning commission might see plans that deal with landscaping, and it'd be good to have that in here. And then finally, we have some standard construction details. Currently, the only one I have in there is our standard for street lights, or lights in the Main Street area. So, like, you know, the ornate type lighting that you'll see along Main Street. That's what that refers to. And I'm not sure if Jed has any other standard details that he'd like to include here, but a lot of those are probably more engineering oriented and probably not something that necessarily that would be in a planning document, but we could add those if anyone feels like we're missing anything or that something should be added. But that's kind of, this is overall kind of the stab that we've taken at this. It's a draft. If you feel like we're missing something, please let us know. That's why it's here tonight, so we can discuss it. If you feel like this is everything, we can move it on, or we can approve it. But obviously, we do have the document that Alan sent, and I don't know if we want to discuss that and if we feel like that should be in there, but I personally would recommend and feel like it should be in there.
Okay, well done. Thank you, Austin, and appreciate your time and any other members of the city staff that have taken the time to put together this Planning Commission manual. That's actually going to be really, really helpful. So, okay, with that, do we need to have public comment on this, Austin?
We don't have to, no.
Okay, so let's go ahead then, just open this up for any commentary here, any members of the Planning Commission.
Did we, I know Jessica Smewen, she sent us an email a year ago or whenever with those links. Do you remember that? There's some links to like an attorney who does training. for
Yeah,
planning commissions, and that was really, to me, that was really, really helpful.
Oh, wasn't that in the email or
Was,
something?
is that it?
Well, yeah, so
yeah,
let me
was it
actually
an email?
follow on that, Troy, because if there's one thing I would do here, so basically, this introduction to the planning commission, just a little 3-page document I put together, that basically follows really closely parts 1, parts 2, and part 3
Right.
of that YouTube
Mm-hmm.
series. And I was looking back this today, I kind of forgot that I did this like months ago
Yeah,
or a
that's-
year ago, but it was,
I
it
just
was when
remembered
we were
when you
all
said that,
looking
yeah.
at those YouTube videos. I thought they were really helpful.
Mhm.
It helped cement for me, like, what do we do here? I mean, what is it actually, what is our function?
Right.
And you know, where should our focus be? So I thought those were really helpful. I thought it'd be helpful to take those concepts and summarize them in a document, which this is. And the only thing I think I would add to this, and maybe go back and revise this and then send this to, on to Austin, would just be some reference and just maybe even a link. Or Austin, maybe somewhere in here you can put a link to those YouTube videos. And I forget the gentleman who put those together, but they're really well done, funny, informative, but I found them very helpful, and they're kind of a good follow-on for this, this written introduction that I provided. So Troy.
Yeah,
you
no,
had
that's
brought that
great. No,
Yeah.
I've forgotten that you'd that's what you took your notes off of, so yeah.
yeah, I like the idea of having like a link or something to those videos.
That would be
Because,
great.
yeah, it's one thing to get like a big, you get this, welcome to the planning commission, but like, okay, what do I do with all this?
Yeah.
Right? That video, I think, really helps orient someone and.
Yeah, I think the reality is kind of, you watch those videos, you read this introduction, and then you go through the, I was just looking at it, what is the article by, or the article by, was that our city attorney, current or prior?
I think it was our current, right,
Current
Craig?
that I was looking at, so,
think it
so
was
really you go through
Craig.
those 3 things, and that'll provide a lot of basic training for a new member of the planning commission, and then really most of the rest of the notebook here, the packet, is just what we do as a planning commission, which is essentially create and then maintain a general plan, update the ordinances, and then finally, do whatever administrative type of duties and obligations are delegated to us by the city council. And so that's really what I think all the rest of the table of contents are in that manual, and we use those a lot, right? When we refer to the plan, the general plan, the master plan, we may refer to the transportation plan, Lambert, Moyle, all that's there. It's great to have that all in one place, which we've never really had that before. So again, kudos and thanks for putting that together.
Yeah.
Alan, did you read through that David Church summary? It seemed like, because I didn't look at your document again to refresh my memory, but it seemed like they covered a lot of the same content. Are they repetitive? Do we need to have both of them? I like yours a lot. I just felt like as I read through the David Church article that it was very similar.
Yeah, I think there's some topics that, where there is some overlap. I think mine's a little more basic. His takes a little deeper dive, clearly written by a lawyer, a little more legalese. And so I kind of feel like if somebody was looking for training, they were new on the planning commission, they watched the videos, read my introduction, took a deeper dive, then I think a lot of the things that David Church lays out, a lot of his concepts are then a little more understandable, because you're kind of going from milk to meat. And so, I think I would personally be a proponent to having all those materials there, all those resources.
Yeah. I think in sequencing, you're right, though. I think I like leading with yours and then the videos. Is it the videos first and then yours as a summary to the videos?
I might
David Church?
almost say my intro first, then watch the videos, and then read David Church's little deeper dive.
Yeah, I like that.
That was the one question I had, was I hadn't read David's comments or his narrative yet. And I'm like, okay, as long as that matches what this is, then I'm okay.
Yeah, mine's Dr. Seuss, his is Tolstoy.
Okay.
So this goes a little deeper.
Yeah.
Except I don't rhyme.
have a question. So, are you aware of any concerns maybe from the city council that they'd like us to, that they can see with the planning commission? Like, hey, you guys really aren't understanding this, or we're doing this wrong?
Yeah,
or-
that's a good question. So I feel like there, you know, especially I think maybe it was last year, or was a year, or maybe it was the year before, but I know that there was some frustration on the city council at that time. They didn't feel like the planning commission really understood the architectural guidelines. And so we kind of did take a deeper dive into that last year and kind of looked at it a little bit closer. But, you know, I think that's something so all of these documents that are in here, I feel like they really want the planning commission to be familiar with all of those. And so when they're making a recommendation, they're referring to these documents. Because really I think that's where our recommendations need to be based upon, is primarily, first of all, ordinance. But then secondly, you know, the general plan, and then all these other things.
Right. Kind of pulling in a little too much personal
Yeah.
opinion or whatever.
Yeah, so like
okay.
our opinion, you
Yeah.
know, that's
It
probably
isn't
not a
really
good
what-
basis for a motion,
Right.
whereas if you can base it on one of these documents,
Sure,
that's a stronger motion.
sure, that makes sense.
Well, to be fair, driving up and down Main Street and finding any real architectural coherence is a bit of a difficult job.
And that is my
Tends to be-
thought
it
as
tends to
well,
be a
but
lot of
yes.
opinion, But anyway, point well taken.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any comments? Anyone else want to make any comments before perhaps we put this up for, somebody want to make a motion?
Ready to move. What's the motion? Is it a recommendation, or is it something we're just doing for ourselves?
So the motion tonight really can be, I mean, if you feel like you want to move, just approve it, or, I mean, it's probably a good idea to look at it one more time after we put it all together. At least I think it should be, but if you feel like, you know, if you wanted to make the motion, you could make the motion. Let's just, a motion to approve this with the following changes. We add Alan's introduction, and then add the video link, and then add the other, and we could just consider it a done deal after that. Or if you want to look at it one more time, we could table it. and bring it back.
Yeah, I think personally, I think you know, your option A there, the former is a little more effective, efficient, and concise.
Mhm.
So we get it done tonight, because
Yeah.
I really don't think there's any substantive changes to.
I think
I agree.
everybody
I
pretty
like it.
much, I feel like everybody's pretty much
Yeah.
on the same page with this, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we can always add to it later. If we feel like things are missing, we can add to it. This isn't like a set in stone document. I'm really curious to see if Jeff goes through it and if he feels like as the newest member that it's helpful to him, because it's really something we've been lacking.
Yep. I'll be the guinea pig.
yeah, that's a great point, Jane. Yeah, I think there's no reason why we can't change it later on. So, yeah, absolutely. Why not just adopt it and roll
Well,
with it?
really, and all these things are living documents, right? They're all subject to amendment, revision, and update, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point, Jane.
Ready? I mean, I can make a motion. I move to approve the planning commission documents and information with the following modifications that we add. How do you want me to word it? Alan's
Introduction to planning.
yeah, introduction, along with the video links. Was that it? That was it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Troy and a second by Jeff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say
Aye.
Nay? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
And we didn't even have comments on the motion.
No.
We just skipped right to the voting.
Yeah, let's do it. Austin, can you send us an updated version with those additions?
yeah, I'll make those changes and then get everybody a copy of that, and we'll just officially refer to that until, you know, some future date that we decide to change it, but I think it'll be a good document. And moving forward, what I would like to do is, maybe print out like a hard copy and present that to the new planning commission members so that they have maybe in a binder, and then they can just flip to whatever, you know. and
Sure.
It's nice to have a hard copy
Yeah.
of some of these maps and stuff.
And then the other question I had, Austin, was, does that document get posted on the Alpine City page somewhere?
We can post it on there. I think it's really more for the planning commission, but
Okay.
I don't see a reason why we couldn't share it on the website if you feel like that's something that would
I
be.
mean, I
appropriate.
guess all of the other components, I mean, really the only thing that applies to us are this introduction about how to be a good planning commission person and the rules of
Yeah,
the rules of order, but everything else probably, I mean, I guess my question is, as long as all of these other master plans and everything are accessible on
Yeah,
there?
all of those should, or most of those, I'll just say most of them. 'Cause
That's
I'm
what I
not
would say, most of
positive
them.
at-
Yeah, because I don't remember some of
But-
these being available on there.
Yeah, and you know, just for the sake of transparency, maybe it is good to have it on there so that people that aren't on the planning commission will be like, oh, well, what are they referring to, and what are the guiding principles that they're going
Yeah.
by? Oh, okay, yeah, and so,
Who's Robert and what are his rules?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not necessarily that, but certainly the general plan, the Moyle Park plan, you know, when we refer to those, we don't have to go, oh, well, for that you have to go under this link and find this document. So it's all in like,
it could just be easy to say, yeah, go to the Alpine City planning documents, it's all
Yeah.
there,
it's all there.
yep.
So, okay.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Moving on, are there any communications that need to come before the planning commission other than what we've discussed? Okay.
Our next meeting is when?
When is our next meeting? That's a good question.
As I was reviewing that document, I believe it said that the first meeting of the year, we needed to elect a new chair. Is that right?
Odd years, I think it said.
Is it odd years? Okay, cool.
Odd years,
It said
yeah,
odd years.
I think.
I read that
That'd be
same
right.
thing too, and I think it said odd.
Yeah, where is that? Here it is. We'll just double check it right now. At the first meeting in January of each odd year, so it is every odd year. yeah.
Okay, got it.
Jane, you got the gavel for at least another year. Okay, any other communications? If not, let's move to approval of the planning commission minutes. Does anybody have any issues or discussion on the minutes from December 7th of 2021? And if not, could somebody make a motion to approve those minutes?
didn't we have to do 2 or 3 weeks worth of minutes because Marla was missing some of something the last time?
So in the last meeting, you should have approved 2 or 3 minutes, but.
Oh, okay.
I
Maybe we
wasn't
already
at
did
that
it.
meeting, so I'm not positive if that was done or not.
Okay. It probably was or it would be here. I just can't remember right now.
But you were right, they were kind of backing up because Marla was out, she had surgery, and so they were kind of backed up a little bit, yep.
Yeah, because the minutes for the December 7th only indicates that we approved the minute, oh, let's see. We tabled the minutes for November 16th. John moved to table the minutes for November 16th. So, and we were all in favor of that. So we have not approved those minutes.
Yeah, I don't see that.
And I'm not sure, John, do you remember why?
I think it's because we didn't have them reported or printed
It
out.
was missing. Yeah, it was
Yeah, we
missing a
didn't
big
have-
section.
They were definitely missing last time.
Okay, so.
Were they not in the packet last time? Is that
No.
No.
So,
Okay, well, it sounds like we need to approve
They're still missing.
minutes. and
November
Nobody's
16th.
seen them, so.
Yeah, so we can do this. What happened was something happened with Marla and the transcript. So since she's out with COVID, that's probably why it's still missing. But like she was missing like the last 30 minutes of it or something like that.
Oh, okay,
And then she emailed it all to us.
that makes sense.
But nobody had a chance to look at it. And so we said, okay, well, let's just include it in the next packet, but I'm thinking she just missed it. But I think we can just approve the last minutes that we do have, and then we can bring that one up again the next time.
Yeah, so I think we can just move forward and do a motion to approve the minutes from December 7th. But perhaps the next time we meet, we can have here both the minutes from this meeting as well as the November 16th minutes for approval. Could you do that, Austin?
Yeah, I'll get those in the next packet for sure.
okay, well, that being the case, I'll make a motion to approve the December 7th meeting minutes for the Alpine City Planning Commission on December 7th.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion from Jeff and a second, I think, from John.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Nay. The ayes have it unanimously, so the minutes of December 7th, 2021 are approved. And with that, we are adjourned.
I think we need a motion to adjourn, actually.
Oh,
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
all right, motion to adjourn is seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We are adjourned.
Hit that gavel one more time.
I couldn't find, oh, there it is, it was hidden.
Okay, there we go.
That's very satisfying.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Alan.
Hope you're all feeling better.
Yeah,
Hopefully
thanks.
soon.
I hope you get feeling better, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Goodbye.